Hello and welcome back to Top 10 Places. Looking for a bone-chilling thrill? Then you come to the right place. From forests filled with spirits to 100-year-old mansions, we're counting down some of the most terrifying places in the world. Hold on to your nerves, this is going to be a scary one. Before we dive headfirst into the horrors, be sure to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And if you never want to miss a new upload from us, be sure to hit the bell icon down below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. The Stanley Hotel, Colorado. If you know anything about haunted houses, then you've likely already heard of the Stanley Hotel. This historic building's stately Georgian architecture and world-renowned whiskey bar have lured travelers to Estes Park since it opened all the way back in 1909. But the hotel achieved extreme levels of fame after it inspired Stephen King to write his hit novel The Shining, which featured a fictional hotel by the name of the Overlook Hotel that was heavily inspired by the Stanley Hotel. Eerie associations aside, many other ghost sightings and even some mysterious piano music have been connected to the hotel. Naturally, the Stanley Hotel leans into its spooky reputation with nightly ghost tours and even psychic consultations from the resident spiritualist medium Madame Vera. Number 9. HOIA-BACIU Forest, Romania. From the first moments that a military technician captured a photograph of an unidentified flying object hovering over the HOIA-BACIU forest in 1968, the woodland dreamscape has gained paranormal notoriety around the world. These days, many people believe that the forest is a portal that transports visitors to another dimension, causing them never to be seen again. Those who are able to pass through the forest without being abducted by aliens or sucked into another dimension have reported nausea, rashes, and feelings of anxiety after exploring HOIA-BACIU. Known as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania, the spooky curved trees that dot the forest add to its eerie atmosphere, and it's likely the near-perpetual fog gives HOIA-BACIU its haunted reputation. Number 8. St. George's Church, Czech Republic. St. George's Church was originally built in 1352, just east of Prague, and the location boasts quite a rich, terrifying history. The building was nearly razed by fire several times over the centuries, and during a funeral service in 1968, its roof partially collapsed. After that, the congregation became convinced that the church was haunted and refused to enter. As a result, the church was pilfered by robbers and fell victim to vandalism. In 2012, that all changed when a University of West Bohemia art student came up with a cunning plan to lure visitors back to the church. The student created a collection of 30 ghost sculptures, all sitting in the pews with their heads bowed. Today, tourists flock to the ghost church, which opens its doors to the public every Saturday afternoon. Still not scared? Wait till you see what we have in store for you at our number 1 spot, coming up soon. Number 7. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Eastern State Penitentiary closely resembles a castle, and the facility took solitary confinement to new heights when it was erected in 1829. Prisoners lived out their sentences alone, ate alone, and exercised alone. When an inmate left their cell, a guard would cover his head with a hood so that he couldn't see or be seen. Naturally, the prison had to abandon its solitary system thanks to overcrowding in 1913, though its other forms of punishment did not get any less severe. For example, some inmates had their tongues chained to their wrists. The prison closed for good in 1970, and the site now welcomes hundreds of visitors per year as a tourist destination. It's popular for both its museum and its Halloween celebrations. Some of the reported paranormal events in the facility include the usual shadowy figures, disembodied laughter, and pacing footsteps. Number 6. Al Madam, United Arab Emirates. Every ghost town has something eerily beautiful about it, and Al Madam is certainly no exception. Located around 40 miles southeast of Dubai, it is speculated that the village was built in the 1970s and was abandoned shortly after. Local legend attributes this quick desertion to jinn, which are said to be shape-shifting spirits. Apparently, the jinn scare residents straight out of town, and while nobody knows whether the spirits have lingered on past the town's abandonment, Al Madam still has a sort of haunted quality quality to it. Dunes encroach on the 2 rows of houses and the town mosque. Sand falls through broken windows in constant, steady streams, and a seemingly endless sea of ochre desert stretches out in every direction. While the ghost tales are certainly enough to scare any visitor, there's one thing that makes Al Madam truly terrifying: it's silence. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Number 5. Bonaventure Cemetery, Savannah. Pretty much the entire city of Savannah is one massive ghost story, with dozens of legends and folktales surrounding everything from breweries to public parks. But there are few spots in town that chill one's bones quite like Bonaventure Cemetery, which is filled to the brim with worn Victorian monuments and moody Spanish moss. There are plenty of notable figures buried in Bonaventure, like poet Conrad Aiken and singer Johnny Mercer. But it's the grave of Gracie Warren that the darkest of tourists tend to flock to. Having passed away at just 6 years old, her grave is marked by a life-sized marble statue with her hand resting on a tree stump that symbolizes her life cut short. Many visitors place toys at her grave, and some have even reported seeing Gracie's spirit lurking near the site. Number 4. Leek Castle, Ireland. Built sometime between the 13th and 15th centuries, this Irish castle has seen more deaths than a finale episode of Game of Thrones. Legend has it that during a power struggle within the O'Carroll clan, one member drove his sword into his brother, who happened to be a priest, as he was holding mass in the castle's chapel. Of course, this room is now called the Bloody Chapel, and it's said that the ghost of the priest still haunts the place at night. The horror doesn't stop there. During renovations that took place in the early 20th century, workmen found a secret dungeon in the chapel, with so many human skeletons that they filled 3 carts with bones. The dungeon was designed so that prisoners would fall through a trapdoor, become impaled on the wooden spikes below, and die a horrific, slow death within earshot of the sinister O'Carroll clan members above. Yikes! Stay tuned for a number 1 spot coming up soon. Number 3. Castle of Good Hope, South Africa. Near the shoreline of Table Bay in Cape Town lies a sprawling building called the Castle of Good Hope, which dates back to 1666, making it South Africa's oldest colonial building. Originally constructed by the Dutch East India Company as a replenishment station for ships, the site also served as a military fortress and prison during the Second Boer War, from 1899 to 1902. These days, visitors are able to tour the fort's numerous buildings and rooms, including a gruesome torture chamber. However, if you do decide to pay the Castle of Good Hope a visit, you may want to prepare yourself for a ghostly encounter. Back in the 18th century, Governor Pieter van Moot condemned several men to be hanged to death, and one of the men cursed the governor from the gallows. The governor would die of a heart attack later that day, and it's said that his ghost still haunts the castle to this day. Number 2. La Recoleta Cemetery, Buenos Aires. La Recoleta Cemetery's thousands of statues, fairy grottos, and intricate tombstones are enough to move even the most secular of visitors. The cemetery also features the remains of Argentina's most iconic figure, Eva Perón. The stone walkways and labyrinth of mausoleums are as creepy as they are beautiful, and Recoleta has a number of haunted legends of its own. One of the most famous tales involves David Aleno, who used to be a caretaker and gravedigger at the cemetery for 30 years before he took his own life. Today, visitors have reported hearing Aleno's keys jingling as his spirit walks the pathways at dawn, tirelessly monitoring the cemetery, even in death. Number 1. BORGVATTNET Haunted Vicarage, Sweden. Originally constructed back in 1876, strange events have been reported in this parsonage since the 1960s. These days, the grey wooden structure that was once a vicarage now serves as a bed and breakfast in rural northern Sweden. The town the vicarage is located in offers fishing, snowmobiling, and, well, that's actually it. However, the guests at BORGVATTNET have claimed to hear music, footsteps, and the sounds of 3 crying ladies coming from within the inn's walls. If you're able to make it through one night in this inn, you'll be rewarded with a certificate proving you did so, courtesy of the establishment's proprietors. That's all, folks. Thanks so much for watching. As usual, it's now time for a bonus fun fact. Did you know that there exists plenty of equipment that will supposedly help you capture ghost sightings? Some items include night vision goggles, EMF meters, thermal imaging devices, and audio recording gear. Which of these terrifying locations would you want to visit? Let us know in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time!